Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Cashier podcast, home of people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, the one and only Austin Creed. Welcome into the morning show for your daily dose of motivation, inspiration, and a little bit of a reminder of what you were shooting for in your life. Now, we've discussed on the morning show before this idea of it is the duty of every person to be rich, and how it is a sin to be poor. And we've broken that down, and I will continue to break it down. But I want to introduce a new element into the show today. This idea of paying the price for prosperity. Because as we've discussed before, there's a notion of sowing and reaping. You must sow the seeds that you wish to reap. You cannot sow the wrong seeds and expect a bumper crop of an entirely different organism. It will not happen. But I'm not the first to discuss this type of philosophy. I know that I'm not. In fact, one of my favorite mentors in this field, I didn't know him personally, but I've listened to him before, and I find him to be very knowledgeable, and I admire him a lot. And that would be Mr. Earl Nightingale. He believed in a lot of the similar things that Napoleon Hill did when it came to this idea of you become what you think about. If you concern yourself with lack, limitations, fear, then that is exactly what you will become. A fearful, limited, and lacking individual. But instead, if you focus and train your mind to view what it is that you want, it will come to you by law. Now, I want to propose a challenge, and this is a challenge that I myself have undergone, and I can personally tell you will change your life, because it's changed mine. Not once, but multiple times. Now, what is this challenge? I call it the 90-day challenge. It's also been referred to as the 30-day challenge. But I prefer 90 days, because in my view, it requires about 90 days of consistency to establish a new behavior and a new habit in your life. So what I'm going to challenge you today, and one of the prices you must pay for prosperity, is to pay with your time. And to pay with your time means to sacrifice for something greater than yourself. Jesus said on the Sermon on the Mount that ask and ye shall receive. Hear the knock, and the door shall be opened. But most people are afraid to ask for greatness. They're afraid to knock on the door of opportunity. They're afraid to, because they're afraid to be turned away. But my friends, fear is a tool of the devil. Fear is the devil's greatest ally, because it keeps you stagnant. It keeps you away from asking the question of not if I can, but how I can. And so one of the prices I want you to pay for prosperity this morning is to pay with your time and undertake the 90-day challenge. What is this challenge? For the next 90 days, what I want you to do is this. I want you to adjust your thinking and take control of your mind. You might think you have control over your thoughts, your behaviors, and your actions, and that is true. However, you are focusing on the tip of the iceberg, the 10% that lies above the surface of the water, and ignoring the 90% that lies beneath the waves, out of sight, and sometimes in your own mind, in your conscious mind, outside of your own thinking. This would be your subconscious mind. We need to retrain your subconscious to aid in your quest for greatness. And the best way to do that is to take control and realize that your habits of your current living are lacking when it comes to producing the results that you want. So what we have to do is this for the next 90 days. You must take control of your thinking, because you will become what you think about. So what do you think about an average day? Is it mainly focused on fleeting things that don't matter. It's to focus on things that are outside of your control. Again, we'll go back to the saying I've used on this show multiple times. It is a sin to be poor. Now, that does not mean that if you're poor, you will go to hell. What that means is you are poor because you are sinning. You are poor because you are working backwards and wanting the same results. A symptom of working backwards is having the wrong mindset and wanting the same results as those who have the correct mindset. It's really easy to get distracted, but I want you to stay focused on this because this will open your mind to an entire new area that maybe you've never seen before. When you're presented with a challenge, or you're presented with your goals, when you think about your goals, now I don't know what they are, but you certainly should if you don't already. What are your goals? Is your goal to make a lot of money, have a certain career, potentially live a certain lifestyle? What is it? Well, whatever it is, you must put that at the focal point of your mind. Just as a steering wheel will direct a car, your dream must become the steering wheel of your life. You must put it at the focal point of your existence so that it will give you something to shoot for. It will give you the motivation, the first thing you think about in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I think about is doing this morning show. Not because I have to, not because, I have a duty to do it, but because I love doing this show. It is something that I am very passionate about. But it took me time to get here. It took me time to budget accordingly. Every single day, have things I must get done. But I don't see them as a must. I see them as things I want to do because I enjoy them. They are something I am passionate about. Do you have such things in your life? Or are they more just a dream that seems far away? Like the moon on the horizon or a rainbow that you cannot reach the end of. Is that what your goals and your dreams are? I'm doing my dream right now. I'm living my dream right now. Doing this show. This is what I love to do. Just because I'm not making, billions of dollars doing it right now does not make me a failure. In fact, once you have narrowed down a goal and you are in the active, not passive, but active pursuit of it, you have become successful. You've separated yourself from the flock and have focused upon your future. But the price you must pay has not fully been paid in full. And it's a price you must pay every day because there are others who will pay. Everyone pays because we've established this before. So you sow, so shall you reap. This is not a down payment and then you're good. No. You must keep paying the price every day. Just as once a farmer has planted the crop, he can't just leave them be. He has to water them, care for them, take care of the weeds in the garden. There are weeds in your garden right now that are sucking away your energy, your attention, your time, your resources, and you must remove them. Because if you don't, they will serve to not directly sabotage, but will siphon out the nutrients. In other words, your resources, which should go to your crop, to your future. I don't want you to be robbed of your future at the hands of your best ally, which is you, your mind. Those of you who want to believe that that God opposes the rich, that is simply incorrect. It is the mindset of greed that God does not like. That is why you must focus upon what you can give to others, not what others can give to you. That is all part of paying the price of prosperity, is giving parts of yourself away, giving back to your community, giving back to the church, giving back to the people in your life, the people of the world, and you will be rewarded. That is part of paying the price. There's a notion of if you just want something, you take it. That is simply working backwards. To pay the price, you must first realize that if you want to pay the price correctly, you must set up the proper means of payment. The best way to do that is to go on the 90-day challenge. Take out all the weeds in your garden that are serving to siphon out the resources that you are attempting to put into this dream that you have planted. If you are willing to do that, then I can personally guarantee you will change your life forever. First time I did this was when I first got onto Medium, a platform for writers. I wrote every day for 90 days, and I saw a lot of success. So much, in fact, that I eventually got banned because I was fighting against the grain too much and the powers that be didn't like it. But I didn't give up. In fact, that was a prelude to the show, and then that's when I started the podcast show. If you continue, you will continue to pay the price automatically every day once you've trained your mind to see it less as a price you are paying, but instead as an investment you are putting in yourself every day. You will see success, and you will achieve your dream. Success is not a destination, it is a journey. That's another thing that people get wrong. My friends, I want you to realize that you can have all the money you want, all the prosperity that you want. And it is no more difficult than learning how to drive a car. Just as you have to learn to drive a car and direct the car where you want it to go, your life and your mind is no different. You simply think it is different because there is no direct steering wheel and there's a physical difference. But once you accept the similarities, it will become simpler and will lead you down the road of success faster than most. And there's also this notion that Sir Isaac Newton had, where an object in motion tends to stay in motion, and for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. If you put in the work and you pay the price, something must come of it. That is the law. May not be exactly what you want, but something will come of it, because that is the law. My friends, once you accept this reality and you learn to pay the price accordingly, and you've taken the weeds out of your garden, you will see a prosperity and you will see it in abundance. Because once the money starts flowing in after you have paid the price and you've cared for the garden, they will come in droves, more than you've ever seen in your life. But you first must pay the price, because you cannot reap what you do not sow. That is a sin, and it will lead you to poverty. My friends, have a fantastic day. Conquer the day, and do not let yourself get in your own way. God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless America. Go out there and make something of yourself and take the 90-day challenge, because it will change your life forever. Peace.